It's steeped really on very basic technique. So any style of karate has basically as its syllabus or structure, these things are called kata. Okay, kata are like choreographed sequence of movements. It's how karate used to be passed down. So when you came to a dojo, the teacher didn't start by saying, okay, hands on your hip, then hand turns over. The teacher just stepped out into various movements in the kata, and you just duplicated that. That's how it was transmitted, okay, through the exercise of the kata. So ten no kata is a very basic exercise, but in that spirit, it offers something still to everybody. So a beginning person can practice ten no kata and derive how do I articulate stepping and punching correctly, important like that. Senior people can do ten no kata and feel like, well, how do I now do more sophisticated things? Like how do I get my hip to snap forward and back? So there's something for everybody. And Funakashi Sensei, I think every teacher, every kata is sort of imbued with the spirit of the creator. And Funakashi was sort of the individual that made karate accessible to everybody. Like prior to that, it was more a certain group of people practicing karate. But his idea was that everybody should participate in this exercise. So you didn't have to be warrior class, or you didn't have to be a hardcore aficionado. You could be, anybody could do it and develop themselves. Okay, so it's a time of peace now, and everybody can participate and garner some benefit. The other thing about the Funakashi's kata is that even in its nature, it takes up a very small, minimal amount of space. So you don't have to have a large area, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it in your house. You could be a traveling salesperson. You can do it in the hotel room between two beds. If you got that little, you could probably do it in the shower if you shortened up your stance. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that is also in the spirit of Funakashi Sensei, in that anybody can do it, you can do it anywhere. So its accessibility is right there. And no matter your level, everybody can get something from it. Okay? So we're going to go back and we're going to work the very first one, the step and punch. So basically, beginning person wants to kind of bend, kind of generate this potential in your body, and then step as if, almost as if someone is pulling you from your hip. So you want to step and deliver your punch. So from the side, when you step in karate, your foot goes first, and then your body settles on top. The reason for that being is that is a very controlled movement. It's unlike how we walk. Our walk is essentially a controlled stumble, if you think about it. Because what happens is our torso goes first and our foot comes out and catches it. And you recognize that's the case when something inhibits your foot and you trip. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're walking and something catches your foot and then all of a sudden you stumble because your torso is really going ahead of your foot. Karate movement is different. Karate movement is foot goes first, then torso accompanies that. So beginning person kind of get that concept. It's a little different than how you naturally walk. You want to bend, step, and anchor your stance. Bend, step, anchor your stance. And you want to step in a way where you're actually almost feeling the floor with your foot. Okay, so you're not stepping like that. But you really want to have, in any karate movement, you want to have this feeling of really nice connection to the floor. You're stepping in a forward stance. This is very sensitive and very, connection feeling. That makes sense? More senior people bend, get a little cock in your hip, then when you step, boom, this feeling. So hip launches the punch, and then comes straight, and everything connects. Your exhalation should always have a little bit of air left in your lungs. So when I'm stepping, then still a little bit left. But be careful you don't hold your breath. You hear that happening, you're really not letting everything go at the same time. So the feeling in your body wants to be kind of like a slingshot. Like you create a potential, like a kind of a tension, a potential. When I step, I'm releasing that potential. And then it's gone. And then now I'm back to just the muscular strength to hold this structure, but no undue tension. Okay? Right? When you return, pretty deliberate. I think of it kind of this is like a wave crashing on the shore. The return is like the wave coming back. It's like a totally different feeling. So when I come back, I fill the back leg, and then this is a very deliberate retraction of my energy, like back to the source again. Does that make sense? Yeah, so if you can kind of catch the spirit of those things, work on the thing you need to be working on, then everybody can participate in the Tenno kata, the kata of the heaven. Okay? Okay, let's give it a try. Try that first movement. Okay, so the next one, the reverse punch, is just going back over that a bit. You're going to create this kind of imposed torque a little bit in your body. So as my knees bend and my body twists, I have like 3 imposed potentials I've just put in my body. I have this drop here, so I have a spring now in my legs. I have this torque, which if I relax would fall back to the front, so that I'm kind of creating that torque. And then I have this hand cock, that's my reaction. Okay, so I want to kind of create that feeling in my body. And for you guys that are senior, that's one way of looking at the technique, is it's almost like you're pushing energy in your body and then releasing the energy of your body. That's a little bit different than when you just think about the articulation of the movement. Articulation of the movement is how is the movement moving through space. These inside pressures is a different way of looking at it, okay? Sometimes I'll just practice with just that feeling in mind and not worry too much about what the shape of the technique is. You understand what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're trying to discharge energy. That's kind of the concept. So I'm kind of putting pressure in my body, then releasing that pressure. Like I'm creating this tension, and then releasing that feeling. So then, slide, this foot slides, my weight transfers into the shape here like that, with this and the twist, that launches your punch. Like that. Make sense? So it's absolutely no different really than if you were a baseball player or a golfer. All up here is really relaxed. You're generating power from the ground, the pressure on the ground, driving it through the torque of your hip and letting it launch your baseball bat, your golf club, or in our case, your gyakutsuki. So bend, kind of create this shape first, step, and punch. Step, and punch. Let's give that a try easy. Reverse punch, mid-level and Jodan. Yep.